As the labor force participation rate among teenagers declines, it begs the question, is this a bad thing or is this just a natural shift in economic priorities? What does the declining number of adolescent workers say about the state of Northern Kentucky's workforce? In 1978, the labor force participation rate among people aged 16 to 19 in the United States reached as high as 58%, according to the data of the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. In fact, from 1971 to 2001, the percentage did not dip below 50%. Today, the rate sits at 37.1%, according to the most recent data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The NKY Center for Economic Analysis and Development found that if teenagers worked at the same rate today as they did in 1989, there would be 3.2 million more workers in the labor force. The phenomenon also is seen at a regional level. Covington Parks and Recreation Manager Ben Oldages said, "At this time last year, we were about 10 to 15% fully staffed across all three of our aquatic facilities."
It's always a challenge to find really qualified and high-level staff. I mean, that's something that we're always looking for. And I wouldn't say it's not always hard to find more applicants. It's hard to find like the right applicants, what we're really looking for, that people are finding interest levels in what we're trying to provide. It's gone a lot more smoothly this year, so we've been engaging a lot more. We actually have been contacting the schools a lot more. We've been in much more consistent contact with them. So we've actually been engaging them more. So we're currently right now, we're at about 60% at this location. In totality across the board, we're about 75%.
Jacob Baird was raised with the expectation that he would get a job as a teenager, just like his parents did before him. Baird, 18, is a student at Northern Kentucky University where he majors in political science. Outside of school, he works as a general laborer at Building Crafts, a contractor in Wilder.
Yeah, throughout my life, there was always people, whether it was my grandpa or my mom, telling me that I need to work to get ahead in life and work for the things that I get in the world.
Do you feel like that was kind of a cultural thing? I mean, being from Pendleton County, do you feel like the people you grew up around and the adults you were around kind of instilled that value into you?
Yeah, I would say so. I say it's the rural uh, culture and we're lower middle class for the most part of my life. Uh, that kind of encouraged everybody to teach the kids to work for what they want to accomplish in life rather than getting things handed to them, and that usually involved working from a young age and working hard. So
All three of our aquatic facilities, we have three here in Covington: Goble Pool, Randolph Pool, and the Latonia Water Park. And so we have staffing needs at all three of those. And so in totality, we're at about 10 to 15%. I think the reason is I think is a little bit of, a need. And then there was also an issue with the amount of the salary that we were offering at the time. So, I mean, it was a little bit under market for what it was. So we were able to, through the gracious nature of our commission, we were able to bump that up and start getting them paid a little bit more. And then we also just started really advertising. I think there were really the awareness of the openness for these positions really wasn't there at the time. So I think it was just trying to help promote those positions, try to talk to generally people like the news out and different news outlets, and just spread the word and plug social media as well.
it's interestingly at my company that I work for, we struggle to get young people. There's a lot of people who work for fast food, like at NKU. I meet a lot of people that work in fast food, whether it's like La Rosa's or Dunkin' Donuts. Uh, in our company, actually, we kind of struggle to get young people who want to work in the construction industry. It's a very unique labor-focused thing, and I can't pinpoint the exact reason why that is, but it's a lot more of the fast food industry and less so the hard labor outdoor construction work.
Do you personally enjoy getting up and going to work? I mean, obviously, I think you do, but do you personally find it satisfying?
I've always found it really rewarding working, like seeing that I accomplished a goal, seeing that I cooperated with people, because cooperation is not an easy thing, especially with people that you might not like, and that's happens in the workforce, I've noticed. So completing tasks all of the with everything being thrown at you is like the most satisfying thing in the world. Even though I'm a general laborer, it gets me up in the morning. It does.
So,
Working for any kind of government or working for recreation in its entirety is I mean, it's the greatest job you'll ever have. I mean, it truly was. I think I had a moment when I was about 18 years old where I actually preferred to be at work than I did actually working or hanging out with my friends. With Parks and Recreation, we have the benefit of like our job is about working so that others can play. So I mean, and there's something really rewarding and fulfilling about that, and like you have a ton of fun along the way.